In regards to layers, I would like to take the opportunity and show you what's very important when someone asks about layers. Right now you can see this is just hair that is growing in. This is not really a layer. Hair is almost one length. Then what you have to do is to look how much hair does a person actually have and what is doable. Lisa has a lot of hair, a lot of thick hair, so we can cut layers into Lisa's hair without risking that her hair would look too thin. Imagine that every layer will take a little bit of bulk away, just like you see how I'm putting up the hair. And you can see we can easily have 5 rows of layers and then later blend that, of course, nicely. And that will add a different shape and add more volume. We combed Lisa's hair. We comb, guide, switch and cut. We section, comb, guide, switch and cut. This is really always my favorite round, cutting the contours in the dry round, because this is the moment when the old is released. This process makes room for the new shape and the new beginning. Here you can see that I'm not really cutting parallel to the ground or horizontal, but I'm leaving an angle towards the ground in order to keep the A-line. I make sure that the 2 sides will come together. And this is, by the way, a free cutting style. I'm not using the formula, sectioning, combing, guiding, switching, cutting, but I'm just cutting the hair, since it's long enough, with my scissors. So here I am back at my starting point in the middle of the back, and I walk my way forward on the left side. And we can really see that just cutting the ends off, the minimum of the contours, results already in great little improvement. If all works well, I will meet my line in the front. I will start by taking a section off, and I will begin cutting the layers, and I'll show you that I have to only pull the hair up perpendicular. And if I cut that parallel, then you have a layer there. I'll just start easy, about 2 inches. I can always cut more. I really just want you to see right now what that does in regards to her layering. There you can see the layer. It's about 3 inches away from the contours, but it would still be possible to put Lisa's hair up into a bun. But I think I will cut a little bit more, because the layer I just cut would result in 3 rows of layers, and I have 5 layers in mind. Let's look where that ends now. That's a little better. It's still safe for the first time. I feel quite comfortable starting the layers there. And then I take the next section and cut parallel again. Now I'm cutting a little bit in an angle, not quite as parallel, to make sure that the gradation is beautiful. And then the last section I'm skipping, because that would be the contour. And I don't want to cut a hole into the contours. And now I'm going to do the same thing, but using the horizontal cutting lines. For that, I'm standing behind Lisa. It's basically a crisscross pattern. And you can see there is a little bit of hair that shows me where to cut, actually, blending the sections of hair that I was just working with before. There you can see what I cut earlier. I'm matching that line, taking the next section. And with Lisa's beautiful thick hair, I will actually use a clip and put it very gently into Lisa's hair. And now I have switched my hand posture. I'm cutting basically into the palm of my hand, not above my hand. They're blending quite nicely already. And we have to consider that her hair will pop up and turn into curls, and then it will look even more layered. Now I'm continuing on Lisa's right side. And I'm pulling up the hair sections again perpendicular. But of course I'm not layering a lot, especially because I don't want to cut off the tip of that A line. And in the front, there's just that section coming out of the forehead. And there's really not enough hair to do extensive layering. The back of the hair has really the most potential for layering, and then the sides, depending on a person's thickness, comes next. I'm going down the verticals again. I'm cutting in a slight angle to create softer layers, because there's not that much hair on the sides compared to the back. The biggest hair trauma is always having the hair cut too short, but number 2 is having layers cut into the hair which are too thin or too disconnected. Layers don't work for people who have very fine straight hair, because those layers would just look choppy and take away body. If there is a little bit of a natural wave, of course, that could give the hair a lift and visually more aliveness. Now we are already in the wet round. I did the contours wet. This round is all about connecting and blending the hair so that the whole head of hair will look like one unit and the layers look beautifully blended and move together in unison. You can see how well blended this already is from the dry round. Cutting a little bit will take this haircut further in time, meaning it'll last longer. When I section the hair, you can see I comb from the top and the bottom to make sure the hair is straight. And again, the less hair someone has, the smaller sections I create, because it's a thickening effect. This finger width sectioning is perfect for Lisa's hair. I'm blending now the vertical lines. You can see I'm just drawing them for you to see. There are about 5, I would say, if you section the hair off about 2/3 of an inch. I skipped the area in the front. I really do not want to cut that because I would take away the contour. But that section above the ear is where I can still blend the sections. I'm in the area that connects the sides and the back, the guiding line. And when I cut there, I stand right where I cut. So I have moved a little bit. I want to avoid leaning over, bending my body in an unnecessary way. It's important that the person who cuts hair has a good body posture, just as the person who's sitting in the chair or standing. The straighter and the more relaxed, the better the haircut result. Again, I took the front part just to include it, to give it a lift as well, to stimulate the roots just by pulling the hair perpendicular, but no cutting. Now I am cutting a tiny bit. I section with the tip of my comb, but I will show you how you can also section with this comb. Some people prefer that. It reminds a little bit of drawing. When you section the hair with the tail of the comb. It's quite precise that way. The comb has to feel secure in your hand. The comb cannot be too large or too small. We chose a comb that fits most people. Now I'm connecting the sides with the back. I changed my position slightly. And I work myself down. When the hair is wet, I don't need clips as much. And clips are a helpful tool. However, if they are put into the hair too harshly, they pull on the hair. And that is not a comfortable feeling. Now I'm connecting the vertical lines with the horizontal lines, and here I'm drawing them for you. About 3 rows. And again, very little is being cut. It is about connecting and blending.
What do you think? Well, I love it. It's a lot lighter and it feels fresh and just really comfortable, and the cut itself was very relaxing, and being a mom, not having kids running around, it's a very important time just for myself, and I feel very centered and very good. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for coming. It looks great.
Thank you.